Welcome to this week's edition of Taiwan Outlook. It's always said that it's more blessed to give than to receive. But for most people, it's easier said than done. In today's program, we are very delighted and honored to invite two guests who have been devoting themselves to helping the people in need. And let's welcome our two guests. Our two guests today is our first guest, Rebecca Wong. She's the Executive Director of the Nodolf Craniofacial Foundation. Ms. Wong, welcome to our program.
Hello, Dr. Ro.
And thank you for coming. And our second guest is Dr. Radovan Bocha. He's a medical doctor and surgeon from Slovakia Republic.
Hello.
And he's also a volunteer now at the foundation. Welcome to our program.
Oh, thank you. Hello. Pleasure to be here.
国际义诊开始于1998年，那一年罗医师带着人员到越南开刀，第二年开始了柬埔寨的义诊活动。
At one time, 40 years ago, when I first came to Taiwan, the doctors here also did not have a good background for the treatment of these kinds of diseases, the cleft lip and palate. And over the years, through the help of other people and our own doctors, we've established certain standards that are considered worldwide as good standards for the treatment of these patients. And to be able to take these kinds of techniques that we have learned from other people and developed on our own, we need to take these techniques and ways of doing this type of surgery to other countries. And in particular, countries that we have been related to are in the Far East here, in Cambodia and Vietnam, and also in China.
从1998年开始，基金会的义诊活动逐渐从越南、柬埔寨、菲律宾扩展到缅甸、中国和多米尼加。每个地方每年1次到2次，义诊团像候鸟一样，每年会固定回去。不同的国民却有着和台湾30年前类似的景观。在勾起怀旧乡愁的同时，医护人员必须面对不同文化和医疗环境的挑战。
Poverty. There are a lot of people who cannot find enough food to eat for their daily needs, and so medical care is a low priority in a lot of people's agendas. So a lot of people will wait until the very last possibility before they get medical treatment. And so children with bare lips and cleft palates, they really don't come anywhere in the scale of things because it's not seen as a life-threatening disease. So yeah, it's a difficult thing for the people to have to deal with, and a lot of these families don't even realise there are other children who have the same problems. It's very interesting when they all come together for a group like this, they can actually see there are other children who have the same problem as their children, which is quite a surprise for them. They always imagine that their children are the only ones who have this problem. So it's good for them also that they can get together and see that they can be helped also, because it encourages parents to look after their children. I mean, often parents may say it's useless to keep the children when they look like this, so if they're sick, it's just very easy to say, well, it's just fate and they live or they die. But now people know that they can be helped, and the children look so amazingly different once they've had an operation. It's just wonderful.
想要成就一件事情，是真的很多人的努力，大家不是靠一个人。 那这些长久以来一直在帮助我们做义诊团的这些这些志工、医生还有护士们，真的要非常谢谢他们。那同时要谢谢长庚医院卢颜中心，因为他们是真的很无私的奉献，而且就是毫无条件的提供他们的知识能力去培训、栽培这些第三世界国家的种子人员，真的要非常谢谢他们。
I think for many local viewers, they know what the nodal Craniofacial Foundation is. But for many foreigners, maybe they have no idea about that. Could you tell us a little bit about the foundation?
Yes, the Nodal Craniofacial Foundation was founded by Dr. Nodal in 1990. And I think many people know Dr. Nodal. He is American. And he arrived in Taiwan about 1959. And at late age, actually, Taiwan was very poor.
That's right.
Yeah, and he came here as a missionary, and he just did a lot of contribution to Taiwan Medical Society. Just like he set up, established many first.
Yeah.
Yeah, we also call him Mr. First.
Yeah.
Like he established the first intensive unit, ICU.
Yeah.
And the first suicide prevention center, and the first burn center, first craniofacial center, and the first polio center.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think he did really a lot of help.
That's right.
Yeah, to Taiwan.
But as we know that there are many areas that people may pay attention to. Why is the craniofacial deformity or the cleft, palate problems that he has more concern about?
I think when Dr. Nodal he came to Taiwan, just 1959, and he saw many patients, and those patients cannot afford the treatment, the cost of the treatment, and so the patient cannot get adequate treatment. Actually, in late age in Taiwan, we did not have a plastic surgeon. So Dr. Nodal he went back to States to study the plastic surgeon. So we say he is the father of the plastic surgeon in Taiwan. He is also the father of cleft palate surgeon in Taiwan. Yeah, and he think cleft palate patient has the normal IQ. If you can give them adequate treatment, the patients can live as a normal person in society.
Dr. Bocha, you're a medical doctor and a surgeon. Yes. And what is so unique about the patient of the cleft palate and the craniofacial deformity? Because as you mentioned that they have normal IQ, EQ, everything just about their face is quite different from the normal people. What's so unique about these kind of patients?
Actually, the deformity itself is not that mutilating deformity. The patient can live a normal life.
That's right.
As for the physical condition. Of course, in the very serious deformities, there can be problem with the food, or of course, the patient has a speech problem. The main problem of such a patient is the appearance, and it's actually the social problem. These patients are usually isolated from society, and the majority of people would look at this patient as a stigma patient. And you know, humans are very interesting beings, so if something is different, they tend to look very curiously and very carefully on such individual. So actually, as Rebecca mentioned, the patient is normal. The patient can live full life if we manage to bring the face to the common condition.
But you mentioned a very important point, that is this kind of problem is not just a medical issue, but also a social issue as well. So in addition to help them to get medical treatments, are you also helping to educate the society to be more receptive to this kind of patient?
Yeah, actually, our foundation, the purpose of our foundation is to provide adequate care for indigent patients and to improve the quality of medical care and also to educate the public to gain social acceptance. So the foundation set up several family support groups to help those congenital facial deformity patients and families.
In addition to this kind of setting up of family support groups, are you also implementing other activities to educate the patient themselves to make themselves feel that they are as normal as other people?
Yeah, I think actually many parents when the child was born and the family the parents was very shocked and they could not accept these children. So if they cannot accept the child, they will I think they will treat the child wrong way. They could abandon this child. So we have to educate the parents how to treat their child and how to take care of their child. So this is why we set up this family support group.
In terms of medical technologies and medical know-hows, can we now treat all the patients in a better way and try to solve their problems?
I think the issue is pretty much well studied and established. The service is excellent, especially in Taiwan, where it was brought actually to the top level in the world. I can confidently say that the service in Taiwan is one of the best in the world. And that's why actually many foreigners, including me, come here to learn and to observe what can be achieved in the field of reconstructive surgery.
What are the major causes for these craniofacial deformities?
It's multifactorial. You cannot say this caused this deformity. So it's very difficult to say. It can be viral infection. It can be associated with some other kind of disease. It's very difficult.
So there's no way that we have any preventive measures?
There are preventive measures. You can do prenatal diagnostics, but the implications of that are obvious.
That's right. So abortion and things like that.
Of course. So there are two ways. If the society accepts this kind of patient and there is well-established service, I don't see the reason for choosing the more pleasant way.
Is the condition in general improving in terms of having a child with this kind of craniofacial deformities?
Yes, I think after our foundation set up, and we provide a lot of programs to educate the public to accept craniofacial patients and families. Yeah, and now they understand. So the public, they all understand the craniofacial patients, the palate patients, they have normal IQ. So if we give them the adequate care, they can just live as a normal person. So I think it's much better than maybe 20 years ago.
A very quick question, because I know that your foundation is well known in Taiwan, also in other countries, and you have done a lot in promoting people's awareness of this issue and so on. So how many staffs do you have in your foundation? Full-time? Well, I think there are many volunteers. Yeah. But in terms of full-time, is it a big foundation?
Not really a big foundation. Maybe just a middle-sized foundation. We only have 25 full-time staff.
But you have done a great job, over the years.
But we do have 200 volunteers, more than 200 volunteers.
Are there many medical doctors or also other volunteers doing different jobs?
We, except the doctors and the nurses, we do have many volunteers from the public or the family support group. Those volunteers are just from the parents who has the palate children.
But apparently the support from the medical community is very important. How involved is the medical community in Taiwan in this Craniofacial Foundation?
Oh, it's vastly involved because actually the community is very active. There are the leaders in the craniofacial team are also the leaders in the field in the world. So, so they organize meetings every year. They participate on the international field. So the work, groundwork in Taiwan is very active and I think in very high level.
Very critical question and very basic question. That is the health. Does the Taiwan's healthcare system cover the cost for the surgery?
Yeah, most surgery the insurance cover, but some items the insurance say is cosmetic.
Yeah, it's not
so not
medical needs.
Yeah, so some items the patients need to pay by themselves.
In general, is that a big burden or financial burden for the parents or for the family to have their patient treated?
Yeah, because these craniofacial patients, they need a team treatment. So not only surgery, so they need surgery, orthodontic, speech, nursing, ENT, and psychological,
That's right.
Yeah, social worker. So they need a team, yeah, and to treat them. And also these patients, they need 17 years follow-up treatment.
17 years?
Yeah, 17 years.
So it takes a long time.
Yeah,
She answered all the questions.
You're very good, doctor. But when we come back, but I think you've been doing a great job inside Taiwan to help the patients, families, to get them recover from these kind of shocks and so on. But when we come back, we'll talk about your international assistance programs. In other words, you are coming here to help our patients, but I know you're also going to other countries to help patients in other countries, and you have done a great job in trying to provide the kind of services abroad. So when we come back, we'll talk about international assistance programs. So don't go away. We'll be back after this message.